Good evening, everybody. I'm Elise has Another Truth on YouTube. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today is a recalibrated video of what I posted yesterday and the lesson learned that if I'm particularly emotional on a particular day, or I have a lot of things going on, it's not a good idea to post because I haven't made sense of the information that I have seen, I have heard, or anything. It's better that I allow myself the time to synthesize that information into something that produces a more cogent perspective on things. And the cemetery video was absolutely triggering. And it was about that. It was the loss of important women in our lives for whatever reason, whether it's by death or by emotional neglect or abandonment, things like that. It really brings up a lot of feelings, and I know for me, but it's really not a place to discuss that right now, but I will try to discuss it in a better way. So I did watch that entire video, on the couple's channel, and I did see that Salah had taken Chantal to pray for his mother, or to pray on her behalf at the cemetery at the mother's gravesite. Now, one of the things that crossed my mind is, why would Chantal even go there? I know she wants to be a supportive wife. It seems that way superficially, but it just seems so out of place and inappropriate, in my opinion. I guess given the length of time that she has known Salah, the fact that the marriage is questionable, and there's so many other things. She's so ill-equipped to handle cultural norms of another society that it was better for her not to go. Sometimes there are just things in our lives where we should not participate. It's a level of appropriateness, a level of, is my presence really going to be of value in this situation? And it is such a private space and a private space to grieve. I am very, very shocked that if I were to frame Salah's presence in Chantal's life as more than just a cash grab opportunity, okay, I would have questioned his motives even more. That why would he make his wife the center of this video? Of course, this is a cash grab. Of course, this is a way to make money. Maybe it's a way to reach out and say, this is what we do. This is part of my life. But why Chantal was the focus of that segment of that video is beyond me, unless Chantal is the one that wanted to be in the center of that, and I wouldn't be surprised. The next thing that blew me away was that she went and said to his deceased mother's memory that she would take care of him or something like that for the rest of his life. And I just, you know what? I was like, forget it. I'm done. Because This is not true. This relationship with Salah is based on impulse. It's based on convenience. It's based on running away from hard circumstances from her country of origin. It had nothing to do with love. It had nothing to do with care. I don't believe that Chantal connects to her mind what the loss of an important woman in one's life means. I don't see how she is able to connect that because she is unable to do so with possibly the emotional loss and ties with her own mother and her grandmother, who is also deceased. May she rest in peace. I did see a video in which these two scenarios played out and was very compelling. The video is done by a content creator called Funkle Fester. Now, I'm not a big Funkle Fester fan, but there are some videos in there that, I'm like, okay, I can understand. I see where this is coming from. But this one showed Chantal praying, okay, performatively for Sulah's mother, and then completely disconnecting herself from her emotions with the death of her grandmother. Now, I wouldn't say it was a full disconnection because a lot of that had to do with, there was a lot of emotional eating in there. I personally think she was more emotional in the one where she appeared motionless, and the performative praying was something entirely different. But here are two women in Chantal's orb, although Sulah's mother is in a different world, a different place. However, they believe in their faith, their religion. And she has never met her. The only connection she really has is through Salah. Now, if Chantal had a relationship with Salah under different circumstances where where Sulah's mother was present, I don't believe Chantal would have appreciated that. I think that she would have felt her priority in Sulah's life diminished. Perhaps Salah would not have made the decision to take Chantal for however he's taking her. There would be no question about it. Salah would already be married to someone else. And Sulah's priority would be on his mother. No doubt. Now, I don't know in Islam what the family structure or rules are. I'm sure there are. Everybody has a different role. And, Chantal's role, ideally, under ideal circumstances, would be one of his wives and the mother of his children, but that's not going to happen. I don't think this marriage is real. I think it's a sham. And I think that, Chantal is not going to have any of her own children, and it's unlikely unless she gets around things to get a child as part of her business, her YouTube business or whatever. That's Chantal's emotional connection to things, is through what she can get from them. Because she has no emotional ties to them, because somewhere down the road this was not something that was part of her composition anyway, or that it was um, destroyed by emotional neglect. And when you experience significant emotional neglect and have significant emotional dysregulation, sometimes that relationship takes on a different life of its own, depending on the person experiencing that dysregulation. And in that case, they are not making that connection and don't understand what true love's all about. In Chantal's life, in Chantal's world, women are nothing but an impediment to her growth, to her success. Not a single woman is behind her success. Not a single woman is surrounding her that actually cares about her well-being. And if there are, Chantal likely has alienated them because of her emotional dysregulation and immaturity. As I explained in the earlier version of this video, I had experienced that myself, and I nearly threw away a very solid relationship. And it's amazing to me. I don't deserve anybody's forgiveness. I don't deserve that. If it's given to me, it's a privilege. It is a gift. And I am very privileged that the people who are in my life love me and I love them. And it's unconditional. Doesn't mean we're going to have good times together all the time. Doesn't mean we can't always be in the same room. But I know what it's like to feel unconditional love. I know what it's like to feel unconditional love from a cat. I know what it's like to feel unconditional love from a man, from my children, from my friends. I know what it feels like to give that. I know what it feels like to be a part of that, no matter how I feel, no matter how sometimes I feel separated from myself or disconnected from things. That is a presence in my life, and I'm very grateful to have it. I wish Chantal had the same thing. I wish that she didn't self-destruct. She didn't torture friendships, torture life, torch the bonds that she had with two beautiful cats for men, and to escape accountability for the things that she had done to them. There is no escaping of accountability for anything. If she has any conscience, it's going to catch up to her. It's going to catch up to her. Because I will tell you, not with animal neglect or anything, but with my relationships with people, I will tell you the immense regret I have. The immense regret I have. And believe me, people like me with borderline, not everybody, but I'm talking about, people like me who've burned bridges, burned friendships, and have acted unreasonably and almost delusionally, in a delusional way, that we lost touch with reality because we were so worried about being persecuted. We were so jealous, so angry and everything. When you get better, the regrets are insurmountable. And the grief and the sorrow and the shame, not just for myself, but for what I caused other people, I put that out there in the universe. I understand a lot of stuff, bad stuff happened to me, but it doesn't mean that I should have perpetuated it either. That I should perpetuated rejecting others. who really weren't rejecting me. There were people who rejected me, but there were people that I pushed away who never rejected me. Never. So there are some people in my life that I rejected that are not in my life, and there are people who I rejected or try to run away from who just are still there. I'm not saying I deserve that, but I'm telling you, the regret is profound. And unless the regret is dealt with, unless all of that instability is dealt with, Chantal is never going to lead a normal life. And, this is probably all what other people are saying is just a business opportunity. I don't think it's an equal one. I think Salah, in many respects, might benefit more from this, and that he would drag her and use her as sort of the center of. Sorry, there's a car horn outside. I live in the middle of urbanity. Okay. To use her in the center of her of his mother's videos, it's pretty appalling and disrespectful. And for Chantal to say that there was no reverence for the mother. There was none whatsoever. Chantal was the center of that, where Chantal should not have even been there. And by rule, I don't think she was supposed to be there. And of course, we won't forget that filming in cemeteries was banned some time ago, I think like 3 years ago or so, in Kuwait. There are a couple of news articles about why that is. I'm happy to post that in the links. But so I'm assuming what they did was not legal to boot. And there was no respect for any of the other grave markers, the other plots around there with other deceased people on there. Just the way she tramples all over everything, like she tramples all over people. It's fucking pathetic if you ask me. But that is Chantal, because it doesn't matter to her who is hurt, who is gone, how it affects people. She has to be the center of attention of it. And yes, this is her channel, or the couple's channel. I mean, yeah, I suppose if it were just on her channel, let's say, I would say it's pretty egregious. I mean, it is on a couple's channel, it is a shared experience, but I don't think it was appropriate. And I think that the relationship that Chantal has with women in general has no place in being in prayer near a woman she's never met, and to say to that woman, I'll take care of your son, when it's not the truth. Chantal has gone from men to men. Now, like I said, Chantal could have slept with 5,000 men, makes no difference to me. What someone does with their body is their own decision and their own choice in that regard. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, like, no jumping from men, using men, or going from one man to another is going to fix her problems. And this situation is just as temporary as the last one. And she is the one who is going to suffer at the end of it. And, Chantal, she self-sabotages herself every way she can. And this is just one of those times.